Now then, you beautiful people, thank you for joining us once again. Bit of a different scene today. I'm in the passenger seat and I've got a chauffeur. She's taking me down to the East Midlands airport. We're heading over to Dublin to the Instantor factory. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's get into it. Right, so we're here in my airport. Let's go find the rest of the gang and get on that plane. I'm a bit early, so I'll go grab something to eat. And yeah, let's get to Dublin. Right guys, we're just down at the Instantor headquarters, the offices here. We're gonna have a look round with the guys, see what they do here. I don't think they actually manufacture the fittings or the pumps here or anything. Each case is just testing here, and I think they do keep some stock here as well. I didn't actually realise though, Flair, the bathroom shower company, is part of Instantor Group. So head inside and go check it all out. So as we walk into the reception area of the Instantor offices, you can see this copper-plated drawing of the original brass nut from 1926. Instantor is part of the Sambra Group. There is many different companies involved with Sambra. You can see here on the wall some that you might recognise, such as Flair, Kristen, Marflow, just to name a few. Instantor have a rich history of they used to employ local people in their foundry making brass fittings and other brass items that you still see throughout Dublin today. We then got to have a look at their 3 different piping systems. So we've got their gas corrugated pipe work, which is handy for fitting gas pipe in long runs. It's going to make it a lot quicker, and that way you're not going to have loads of different fittings to get around corners. You can actually bend the pipe, and it's going to make life a little bit easier. It's not something I've ever used before myself, but it's definitely an option to have and something I can use going forward potentially when I need to maybe fit some gas pipe work in long runs through under floors, for example. It means I'm not going to have to mess around taking floorboards up to fit legs of copper in. So definitely keep an eye out for that on the channel. So then we got to have a look at their copper press fittings. So they do water fittings and they do gas fittings as well. And they also manufacture their own press tool, which hopefully we'll get our hands on in the future, and I can show you it being used in a real world situation and give my honest opinion on that. I learned something new about gas fittings and water fittings. So inside the water fittings on the O-ring there is a little ridges, which I didn't realise that is to hold onto the pipework, but also if you did have a leak, it's going to show you the signs and let water spew out. But we don't have that on gas because the last thing we want is gas spewing out of the fitting. I've learned something new there at Instantor. Unfortunately, they don't manufacture anymore in Dublin. It's manufactured overseas now, but it's still of a high quality. And all these fittings are tested to a high degree in their testing lab in the offices, which we did get to have a look at, but unfortunately we wasn't allowed to film inside. They were doing tests under different pressures, putting it under strain, trying to pull it apart, trying to bend it and see if it would pop off. So it was good to see that a company cares and is testing thoroughly all their fittings, making sure that there is no problems. And if there is if they do find a problem, they immediately stop production, recall the fittings, and test out and find out what is going on and why these fittings are up to standard. I then got to have a go of their MLCP. MLCP is not something I've ever used before. It's not something I've ever come across in the Wild West. Basically, it is a plastic pipework with an inner liner, metal inner liner, which gives it that rigid feel, and you can actually form bends, and the bends will stay in place. It's going to be a lot more hard wearing than your standard plastic pipework. It's still a press system, so it's not a push fit and it stays on. You've got push it, you ring your pipe work, so you deburring it basically, put your fitting on, and then you press your fitting on with separate TH jaws, if I remember correctly. This is something I think I'm going to use going forward in the future. There's a wide range of fittings to convert you back to copper, whether it be compression or here. I actually converted it back to copper. So yeah, something I'm definitely use going forward. It's going to be handy for feeding pipework under floors, in voids. It's going to make life a lot quicker, I think, and you're going to have a lot more peace of mind, especially compared to plastic push-fit pipework.
Oh, you have it down, yeah. Oh, you look at it. That's twist now, that pipe there turning. That's one I show you from there, right? So I want to come this on here, right?
One question I had for him was, like plastic pipe work, once it's in place, can you twist it? And Ken showed us how, yes, you can. So it actually twists the fitting rather than the pipe work. So the twist is actually inside the fitting on the ceiling inside. So you can see here he's created an elbow, and then what you can do is just spin the pipe work around, which is very handy to know. Because originally when I first saw it, I didn't think that was possible. So it just gives you a different option. If you do make a mistake, you can bend it into what position you want, and there's a bit of tolerance there. After lunch, we got to speak to Noel. He is part of Instantor's pump division, which is called Tucson. They do everything from circulating pumps, shower boosters, cold water boosters, submersible pumps. One thing I did like was this universal pump head replacement kit. This is going to be a game changer, and it's definitely going to upset a few boiler manufacturers. You can use this to replace their overpriced boiler pumps. You put that in place and not having to change the body. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to the British market soon. It's definitely going to upset a few people. We then went over to the Guinness factory, to the storehouse, to have a look round, have a nice cold pint of Guinness, which was a great experience. So thank you, Instantor, for inviting us over to Dublin. It does mean a lot to have this opportunity. One thing I did take away from the talk was how much this company cared for not only its product, but its end user. So once again, thank you, Instantor, for this opportunity. If you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you like this sort of content, make sure you subscribe. Create yourself a YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, it's free. You never know, one day we might be able to have a pint of Guinness together.